One of the world's biggest sponsors is Red Bull, not only being a drink, but taking over sports. They've got a Formula 1 team, plenty of football teams, and they've just gone into England sponsoring Leeds. But one place they haven't been and maybe they want to go to is Italy, of course, where football is life. And with there being two teams dividing the capital, maybe Red Bull could slip in and challenge the Milans. As after previously conquering England with a Red Bull club, we move to Italy, forming RB Milan. As yes, people, here we are. We are going to be the manager. You can see by the background, it's a Serie B side. As we're making big footballing moves, you can't really see the name on the back, but of course I am the manager, and I want to help my team. As there it is in the top corner, you can see it is RB Milan, but the players won't be very good. And I'm hoping the budget will be. Being sponsored by Red Bull, but only 3 million. So that is quite hard, but it is going to get harder. As you can see on screen, there is a contract we must abide by. Red Bull are sponsoring the club, but also want specific things. As the first point, we can only sign from other Milan clubs or other Red Bull clubs, keeping the chain alive. But not only just sign from them, we can only sign 3 players a season, and also with the youth we can sign as many as possible. That's not restricted to 3, but one thing we've got to do to complete the Red Bull challenge is win the Champions League. Something the brand's never done with any of its teams. As speaking of teams, this is the one we start with, and it's all youth players. They are all from Italy, and you can see the kit right there. It is a very nice design. Copying the Milans by taking their stripes. As if you do want to use this kit, the badges, the mod, it will be in the description, as this is the team we start with. It's going to be very difficult with only 2 players over 60. In Diego Mancini, he does look quite special to be fair. And then Ricky, they're both in the same position. So I'm going to have to change those, as a lot of rubbish players. But the only positive is everyone's got a long contract, so at least we don't have to spend on contracts. But academy, I have gone and spent with. Everyone can't be promoted. Nicolo Gallo, Ivan, Ricky, and Marchetti look like they could be used now. But we can't, of course, use them, as this is the squad. I'm looking at centre-back first, or maybe midfield, as 2 players in Costa and Abate not even touching the rating of 50 overall. So yeah, not impressive, as I think to impress, we need a young midfielder from Milan this time. Kevin Zeroli is 18 years old and 64 rated. Shouldn't cost us too much. So without further ado, we go and make him our first signing, and our first in real life one I'm very happy with. Straight in the midfield, and he will take the left slot because he's got a better weak foot than the sloppy Costa, who's not a very good player, but still not my next replacement, as I want to go and find a centre-back from elsewhere. And with our finances being 1.8 million, it's not actually 2 because I know he just cost 1.3. We've got to be careful with money, as the next player I'm going to head to Bragantino for Alson Botello. As here he is for 1.5 million from the Brazilian league. I didn't sign from here when I did my RB London save. So into new territory, as he's not going to play midfield though. He's a CDM who I'm going to train at centre-back. Taking only 2 weeks, we can sort our team's tactics, then come back to him, and then start the season. As I'm not going to lie, I know Red Bull will probably want us challenging straight away, but I'm going kick and rush, because with the young team, we've got no chance in competing. We just don't want to finish bottom and build on from there. As I've skipped a few weeks as well before the first game, and we're going to change Botello to a 71, and also change some other players like Antonio Bruno, who now finds himself on the bench, but not in this team. And can we avoid that bottom spot, as there I am in the Red Bull gear, and here I am asking you guys for a bit of support. Because if you want to give us luck in this rebuild, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also leave a like. On the race to 40k, as we didn't didn't finish bottom. I mean, very, very close to, but Lecce, like real life, will go to Serie C, as I think we would have gone as well if there was relegation, but no, we survive. And that's good for Red Bull, as of course we're not doing well in the cup. It is the other Milan team, which we will take over. Mark my words. We just need to get in the playoffs to start with, which haven't been decided, but we won't partake in them, as we only made 2 signings. But how have they done? Well, we've got a 69 Zeroli, a 73 Botello, but the man in the moment above all the rest of the youth we start with is Mancini, the winger, who is 70 rated. I want to build a team around him, as we've got some position changes. I am sticking with this formation, maybe for just 1 season. As I'm changing these guys around, Ricky doesn't get an upgrade, but maybe this Ricky does, because there's 2 named Ricky. And one of them's quite high rated, who can actually play cam. If we could get a cam into the team, you never know, could be helpful, as hopefully more money next season anyway to buy with, as our top scorer at the club was Martinelli, the striker. The season we all expected. Come on, are we going to win the Champions League, which Harry Kane wins? Actually getting a trophy. Congratulations to him. But yeah, with this team, we don't expect anything, but can we get a bigger budget? 8 million euros. That's enough to go and spend. So we'll be looking at Bragantino. We'll be looking at all the Red Bulls and, of course, Milan's. But before we get fully into it, where do we need to actually sign? Right, I am thinking another midfielder, because 48 rating is embarrassing. Then again, I'll pay for an academy, and we could do with some centre-backs, a keeper, and also another centre-forward. As yes, that guy was called Romano, like Fabrizio Romano, as Nicolo Gallo finally can get promoted. As could he be a centre forward? Well, it only takes 24 weeks, so I may try this guy and spend elsewhere, including on our scout, as of course I'm sending him to Italy. And the player I'm going to look for, I am going to go central defense, because we do need more players. And we've completed our scouting straight away with Marco Bruno the best. He actually isn't a centre-back. What is our scout doing? Does he want to do what I told him to? Anyway, we're going to move on, and we are going to sign one of our own. In hopefully this man Blank, because he's 19-year-old, only 66 rated, and looks like the future. As here he is arriving from his flight from Austria. The German centre-half. A lot of potential in him. But guess what? He will not be joining the club alone, as we have another player. This man, well, I didn't mention at first because I cannot say his name. Is it Akin Sanmiro? 19 years old, 65 rated, and from Inter Milan, but will play with Zercoli. As they've gone from rivals to teammates while staying in Milan, it must be a weird feeling for them. And Blank, who's come abroad, leaving us with 3 million, and I do have a player in mind. In fact, I've got him that far in my mind, I've already put a bid in. As we're going back to AC, mixing our Milans with Davis Vasquez, was on loan at Sheffield Wednesday, as he's staying in the capital but moving Milan clubs. But this guy wasn't cheap. 8,000 contract. Probably making other players in this team feel very jealous of their pay, including Mancini, who should be paid more. As hey, maybe I will pay him more if he does well at a centre-forward role he now will play in. Allows Ricky to go back, Mancini to move forward. Now everyone's in position. The team is looking stronger. And can that squad maybe challenge mid-table? Because we can't be down there again. We need to make progress. And I've got my fingers tightly crossed. And I don't usually do this, but before we go in to see our league table at the end of the season, Marco Bruno can be a centre-back and 62 rated at only 15. He should be in this team next year for this man, D'Angelis, who hasn't done well. He'll still get a place on the bench, as we've got a 76 centre-back, a 72 midfielder, and a 70, but wow, Akin Sanmiro. Brilliant stats, and he has just arrived at the club, as there's a lot of decent ratings. Mancini 75, and no wonder the midfielder's done well at the club this year, because from central midfield, 18 goals. Fantastic for the Red Bulls, as we're not in the bottom 13. Could we have got promoted this year? Slowly sneaking up. All my days were in the playoffs. 7th. That's fine by me. Playoff football in our 2nd season with this club. As the team that we will face, we've got to go through a quarterfinal, and it's Como, says Fabregas's team that he manages? Or does he actually own them? Or does he do both? I don't know. Please win, though. Can we go and get promoted? No, we are beaten. Martinelli with our only goal, and that's, funnily enough, the man I want to replace. As yes, he is our striker, and he's 61 rated. Not the lowest in the squad, but we do need to go better. Maybe train him as a centre forward. That could be a good thing, but what is not a good thing, all the contracts finishing, as I've signed them all up, and they have all took increases to their wages, so I'm not buying a scout this year. I'm just going to promote Mark Bruno and be done with it. 65 rated at 16 years old. This man's for the future. As in, he goes, and that squad looks a lot better. It's the striker that we need. I've put Romano there just for show. And has the money snuck up again? Yes, it has. 11 million. Red Bull are a big club, and of course, they've got that moolah. So they're going to go and share it. As AC Milan have a Serbian striker, I believe, called Leipzig. Something along them lines. But you know what I'm getting at, because Petar Ratkov could be our competing one. As for 2.6 million, we can afford him. He's too valuable to the team. Oh my days. So to my second option, which I'm very much still happy about, Yannick Eduardo. If we could steal him from Leipzig, it's a huge player to get. Of course, he will take a huge wage, but we just want a striker first and foremost. Crucial, and we will pay the money for the quality, as here he is in Milan. No face in his little picture, but there's not many in our team, and we're going to make a faceless squad if we keep on going with these signings. As Akin, Samiro, Zircoli, and now Eduardo. Are we going to make another one at left mid? Ricky right there. Or actually, I've not seen the right-hand-sided position. Now, that needs to be stronger. But I can't lie. Finding a right-hand-sided player from all these teams is incredibly difficult. Milan don't play wingers. Or Inter, I'm sorry, as AC do, but they're good. Like Pulisic, Griezmann, Chukwueze, not to mention Leao. As what we're going to do is we're going to try and take this man from Inter, Valentin Carboni, to try and train him as a right mid. But if he's not good, it doesn't matter anyway, because I'm going loan to buy. 6 million will be the price tag if he wants to stay. But of course, if he isn't good enough, we can just sign any other player. As welcome Carboni, he is left-footed, yes, but he's going to play on the right for us. And maybe sign that contract? 6 million was agreed upon, and that's all we've got. So we kind of need to keep our money only after 2 signings. Because if he is good, I of course want him to stay at the club. As now, it's all about getting players out the club. As I've loaned some lads out, but that's not all. All these 45 rateds that haven't got loan deals. I've released a few of them, but I'm not releasing all of them because we need to watch our money and need to watch our position swaps. As Carboni has completed his, he stays at a 71, but hopefully helps us go for promotion. As I was very nervous starting this big Milan build, because I was going to wear the AC Milan shirt, which I got from Soccer Deal Shop, the sponsors of the channel. I also got this Venezia one. We're going all Italian today. As if you do use the code on screen, you can get yourself some cheap kits and also help the channel with your support. They are really good quality as well. This has Rafael Leao on the back. Could we actually sign him today? Speaking of signing, Carboni in the team. Well, I've got to look at the team first because there's an 80 rated in here. Also a 79 in Mancini and Botello. But yeah, Carboni the third best. And we have got to try and settle that loan to buy option. As what does this say? I've actually never done this on FIFA before. Yes, I'm going to pay it. Please just sign. As there we go. We gave him, I think, was it 22k? So a lot a week for this man, but I trust him to hopefully have us up there in the league, as it won't be playoffs, it will be automatics. Goal difference stopped us from winning the league, but we're 5 points clear of Cremonese. We are going up. No trophy, which is a shame, and both Milan clubs in the final of the Coppa Italia. Such a shame, as we'll be there one day. Just gotta trust the process, as we was in the playoffs last year. We are trusting this process and making progress, as Yannick Eduardo, the striker we did sign, was our top scorer. Very proud of our promotion, but let's be honest with ourselves, is that team that you see good enough to survive? 180 rated and then one almost 80 does not cover for a 68 centre-back and winger who is terrible, alongside the bench, which is terrible. Just look at those players, and the players we sent out on loan, they're down here and back, and they are also very terrible. We've got 161, and that doesn't cut it. Glad we still got this tactic of kick and rush in the top division, because we stand no chance if we actually play normal, as we can't afford coaches. Well, I'm guessing anyway, because I haven't checked our budget and I know it's going to be bad. As 20 million. I know we can only make 3 signings, but even that is woeful. As do we pay for an academy? We've already got a scout, but with him being 2-star, I might leave that for now, as I'll put my scouting brain on and look for a left mid, which is very difficult to find, especially in Italy or Milan, as maybe we do it again. Maybe we go for this man, Dijon Kameri from Salzburg, as it says he can be a right winger, but I'm going to try and get him on the left and see if he's a good option. As worst possible outcome, we've just signed a good midfielder, and for £7 million, not a bad price tag. As can he play left mid? Yes, he can. Only 2 weeks. A very nice sight, as I am going to trust him, leaving us needing a centre forward more than a centre back. Yes, Bruno needs replacing, but immediately, I actually don't know, because if we put all 11 million into one player only, we can leave him in the squad. Or actually, could we sell our striker, Yannick Eduardo? He's got a good bidding from Liège. And you know what? I'll accept it. I'm not accepting Tottenham, or I might negotiate Tottenham. See if we get a good deal. As yes, we did. We got 30 million from Spurs, so we have sold our top scorer in order to get money, taking us up to 37, but still he may stay the centre-back, because we need to replace the striker and also need that centre forward. This is where rules hurt, because yes, we can afford 3 replacements, but we've already signed a player, and we're only allowed 3 signings. So we need to make sure the strikers we sign are good quality, as the first one, a bit cheaper, Salcido. As for only 8 million, he's only 24 as well. We've signed a quality player, and it's left us with plus 20 or 20 plus million pounds, as I think we've got 25, so we can afford Jesus Ferreira. As yes, you can't see the name on the shirt, but we've gone and signed him, a brilliant addition. So that's our 2 strikers, or should I say striker and centre forward, as Eddie Salcedo will change position. Hopefully he gets played. As Dijon Kameri, he also changes. He stays at the same rating, but he'll be 75 soon. As hopefully we can say the same for our 2 midfielders and defenders, because Bruno is, of course, playing. As JSS, just survive somehow is the motto in times like this. As we do survive 14th, Red Bull have a top tier side for at least another season. And no offense to those teams below us, but you expect them to be, because we've made good signings. How have they progressed though, as the Coppa Italia is won by AC Milan? Again, Milan team. When's our chance to dominate? We're signing players from them, like Zaroli, who's increased, 76 rated. And then in fact the other ones, oh, Vasquez as well. He's the only other AC man. Maybe we need to go to AC more, as Bruno, I see, has definitely improved as a defender. And Blanc, 74. He's actually our lowest rated. So maybe next out of the team, as I did have to sign contracts up. The only player we lose is Nicolo Gallo, as our top scorer this season was the youth player that has stuck as a centre forward and won't be released, Diego Mancini. I never, ever want to lose that man in this save, as the Champions League graphic, it keeps popping up. PSG still with Mbappe, and we want to be there one day. As our aim initially, though, is to just finish mid-table, or if we're very lucky, finish above Milan. It'd be great if we could, as we've got 38 million. And of course, we can weaken them by signing from them. Although I don't want to do that straight away, but I know which position we need, and we have to go and get the centre-back option. Come on, we're an Italian club. They've got to have good centre-backs, and Strahinja Pavlovic, you should have seen him in the Euros. He tried to bully Saka in the second half for Serbia against England, but I kinda want him for that. As can we get him? No, we're beaten to him by Atlanta. That is horrible. Beaten by another Italian side who gets stronger instead of us. So screw it, I'm gonna weaken an Italian side by going to Milan. By going and getting this man for just under 9 million. Marco Pellegrino, and he's not valued at that. Said 12 million a second ago, and he was in his final year of contract, so through the reserves we go. He takes over central centre-back. Or maybe could go right, Botello in the middle, and we need a stronger bench. Maybe a backup striker. As I know there's other clubs, and I keep going back to them, but I'm stealing from Salzburg again for Petr Ratkov. Wanted him before, and gone and got him, as he won't be a starter this time, but he's still got potential. Less of it, sure, and for only 8 million, leaves us with about 17 for a central midfielder, I'm thinking. And absolutely perfect. Keys Schmidt for 17 million. This man's at Inter, as yes, it's not a rating increase, but he's younger than Zaroli, and of course, he adds to our weak bench, as this is what I'm worried about. Next season, though, we'll get stronger, and I think we'll fill that out, or fill 3 of the 4 out. But for now, of course, it's all about this first team again, which is majorly the same, but I'm sticking with it. And I'm so surprised we've actually stuck with our formation, as we're going to see how it's done. We'll check the league first, as we're up there in 5th. And yes, I don't care about any European football, but we finished above Milan. I knew we'd be better this year. Our players have good potential. And yes, it's not Champions League, a little bit of a bummer. And 66 points isn't the highest point margin in the world, because we took 10 defeats and took 9 draws. For goodness sake, we wasn't good at all as wow. Lecce, who finished bottom of the Serie B, have won the Coppa Italia. That's amazing to actually see. We never did that, I don't think, when I actually rebuilt them. Yes, I have done that on the channel, as this is how our team looks. Our front three of Salcido, Ferreira, and Mancini, who I thought would go higher rated than the rest of them, but no, is brilliant. And yes, our midfield's probably weakest, or our defensive triangle, because goalkeeper next year. Vasquez is, I think, yep, he's 30. So hasn't got many years left, the Colombian. And our backups, we've got 3 of them, but very, very bad ones. Pellegrino's been alright, and Blank's a good bench player. We need to fill that bench as our top scorer this season. Ferreira, our striker, then our left centre forward, and our right centre forward. Makes perfect sense. As ladies and gentlemen, I think we've hit that point with getting European football. I hope so anyway. All our players in the squad are young and upcoming. So those that don't improve anymore, like Schmidt and maybe Bruno, we have to replace with only world-class quality. Let's face it, our budget should be bigger and we're in a better position, as what do the board expect? Only the group stages of the Europa League, okay, but please show me the money, because we're sponsored by Red Bull. They are rich. And are we rich? Yes, we are. 80 million, that is a lot of finances to go and get our players with. So where do we go first? Well, of course I pointed Bruno out, but with him being a youngster, I might replace Schmidt. And yes, we have just got him. And I did talk about goalkeeper when we go all the way up. Where is he? There he is, Vasquez. I will replace him, but obviously players in goal are not as expensive, and we can sign an older keeper. Because of course they don't retire till they're very much older, and Inter have only got one goalkeeper. So with the rules being the rules, and we can sign from other Milan clubs, I'm going to weaken them and steal their only GK. Good luck to them for the future, as Michel De Gregorio, he is going to replace Vasquez, and he is going to step in. And yes, Milan's goalkeeper was Diogo Costa, who was affordable, but I went and signed the Inter keeper because they finished above us and now they don't have any goalkeeper. Yes, they'll get some money, but I think they will struggle because of it. So I'm happy with that signing, and I'm happy with this sale. This is Zeroli, our first ever signing. He's leaving to Lazio for £38 million because he was only 22. And was 78 rated? Because I'm trying something special here, I am taking the risk of a less good player on the bench, and of course selling a youthful player to give us 80 million again, and to also sign an old boy, but an old boy with potential to rock Europe. It's Barella, and oh my days, what are the chances he's at RB Leipzig after moving from Inter? This is weird because he still fits within the rules because it's another RB club which allows us to sign him. As I like this guy already, he's already betrayed Inter and he's now back in Milan from a little holiday in Germany, as he goes straight in for Schmidt, and he's the highest rated already and hopefully should raise the ratings of those around him. Brilliant, as we're left with 6 million actually, so I'm going to sign the contracts up and maybe some coaches, as I've gone ahead and yep, got all that done, ready for the Europa League group stage with Antwerp, Rapid and IEK. And I want to see the team before I see anything else, because as the Barella effect happened for us. Well, we've got some good ratings, but 2 big injuries. Kamari, 86 rated, so he's going to be a big loss. And Bruno, 85. He's come on leaps and bounds. But both not played, of course. We've got Portello, who's been here since day 1. And then our strike force, absolutely brilliant. Just that bench, you know. Of course, I'm still very worried because our 59 rated seems to have replaced our defender. And I'm actually intrigued. What was his match rating? A 6.07, and he even scored a goal. You know what? Good on him. As Mancini was the best player though, he scored 22, Salcedo got 19, and Kamari got quite a few. As we didn't finish bottom 13, we actually finished 12th. Not a good season. I thought we'd weaken Inter, but no, they finished 5th and still way above us. What has happened to our club? Hey, I don't know what's happened, but we are still somehow competing domestically. With a Coppa Italia win over Empoli, I think we might have got an easy run. I mean, we got Empoli in the final. No offense, Empoli fans, as in the group as well, in the Europa League group, we surpassed expectations, winning it, as then we beat Wolfsburg, Leipzig out, and then we beat Leverkusen, who knocked out Leipzig, doing a Red Bull team a favour. Then in the semis, we actually beat Brighton to go on to the final, where we beat Villarreal, so we're in the Champions League, despite being terrible in the Serie A, because that's inexcusable. Do we need to sign defenders? Is that because we had players injured? I don't actually know, as Bruno is 85 rated. He's actually higher rated than Carboni, who's gone up 1. Thought this man was brilliant. Thought this man was the Messi, or the next Messi, should I say. He's the same rating as Kamari. He's gone down as well, and Bruno is almost back, who's gone to an 84. But I'm kind of still trusting him. As yes, we've got 3 signings, but 83 million, a decent squad as it is, that can go on 1 player. Unless we sell a player, of course, as this season we're expected to reach the final and then in the league, win the Scudetto. As spoiler alert already, that's definitely not happening. Our highest rated's 88. We've got no 90 rated. Which, thinking about it thoroughly, I would love to have. It's just that step up and cuts through, maybe cuts the top 4, as that's where I'd love to be. And hey, we've got a big offer for Eddie Salcido, which gives us a choice here. 108 million from Paris Saint-Germain, but we've been reviving the man's career. But I think we sell, as I know which player I want. So goodbye, Eddie. Have a good holiday. Go to France and go and smash it. But don't win the UCL, because we're going to be going for that. And that should give us around 190 million euros to get our big baller, which is this man. Of course we wanted to get Rafael Leao. He can play centre forward, 91 rated. And have I overpaid for him? 100%. But do I care? No! He's our big action player. 148 million, which is bad because it's actually more than I initially expected. But the only players we want to sign now are bench players, because the state of the bench at the moment, I mean, if we played Grimsby, we'd probably lose out. So the first signing, we're going to go to RB Leipzig for Ozan Kabak, the Turkish man. I know he's 29, but the man has potential in my eyes being over 80, so that is why I've signed him as backup. But Leipzig, if you think you are safe, you are definitely not, as they've got Johnny Rowe. The real-life Norwichman, as how much money do we actually have? We have... oh. We don't even have 1 million. Okay, maybe we should have gone cheaper on Rafael Leao, but do I care overall? No. He's the player. That should hopefully carry us through our difficult Champions League group with Liverpool in there, Shakhtar, and also Copenhagen. Scary group, if you do ask me personally, but our squad is better. And yes, our squad's brilliant, but I'm not putting expectations on the Champions League, even with a Rafael Leao who is 92 rated. And is he ready as a centre forward? No, he's been out of position, but the squad hub, whatever, hasn't actually kicked him out, which I was a bit pessimistic about, but I am glad FIFA's let him stay, as Mancini, 30 goals, actually outscoring him. Still not higher rated than him, as my days. Right, it's happened again. In Italy this time. Into rock bottom. Now, they must have not signed a keeper, but they survived last year. This doesn't make sense. Anyway, enough of the rivals. They're going to be in Serie B next season as we beat the other rivals to win the Scudetto. First in the league, above Milan. Look, 2 Milans in a row. And we've got the one with RB next to it. Winning the league. As we didn't win the Super Cup, that went to Juventus. But the Coppa Italia, no. That goes to Milan. But there's still a big competition to check. The Champions League. Did we get out that group? As I wasn't feeling confident. But after seeing the league and that group right there, I'm feeling a bit optimistic. As we went to the round of 16 and lost to Club Brugge on penalties. Well, that's not a good ending. Can't lie, I wasn't braced for that, but one thing I was braced for, look at all our youngsters. They have all left the club. If we're in the Champions League, I'm only having players that I might play, and yes, I kept 2, just so we have some reserves. As another positive to all the releasing, we do have a big budget, 130 million, as I actually didn't release them. They all left at the end of the contracts, as we've got only 20 players, and we've got that big money to sign 3 big ones. As where do we go first? Do we actually go first team, or do we just build a strong bench, get a few 80 rated? Martinelli can be replaced, and Romano can be replaced with either a left mid or a right mid. And then we've got money left over. So the first player I'm going to go for, yes, he's still on my shortlist. I wanted this man last year, Johnny Rowe of Leipzig. The reason I've actually been so desperate for him is because he's one of the only left mid, right mid options out of all the clubs. So welcome Johnny to the club for almost 40 million. Yes, a big overpayment, but a position which was necessary. As yes, he'll only be on the bench, and now we've got to search for a harder position, a centre forward somewhere. Where can we find those? Well, I'll tell you maybe where. In the Serie C. I cannot believe they're down here. especially with Lautaro. But it's not him that I want. I'm going to take Sergio Camelo because he's only going to be a backup if I could make him a centre forward. As here he is, arriving at the capital. Wait, he was already in the capital, but that time the capital below. As before we spend our final 35 million, probably on another bench player, I do want to actually see the team that AC got relegated with. Or it's Inter, sorry. Inter, AC, you're next though. And yeah, very good ratings. 2 89s in fact. But when I skip to goalkeepers, not one at the club, why has the CPU or NPC, whatever it is, not signed a goalkeeper? They've literally screwed Milan over, and we're going to screw them even more by going and get another player from them. That's right, Agume. I think he'd be a decent centre-back, and for only very cheap, gives us money for more coaches. As here he is, and it shouldn't take long for him to be a centre-back, which helps us. Let's go and change it. Yeah, he should be fine to change us. Whoa! Maybe not. 380 weeks? Are you sure with them stats? And they will all get better even if they're not playing with the coaches that we brought in, who do like kick and rush. But does it want the Champions League? Well, with a group like that, I'd hope so. We should definitely go through. As that may have sounded cocky, but yep, we should be through, and we should be firing. Look at the attack. As I count Cameria's attack, Leao, Ferreira, Mancini, Carboni. I wish he would have done better. And same with Barella, who's our captain, but he's gone down to an 82 rating. He is getting old. As did he have an impact at least? Well, he isn't even on the first list. Our top scorer again, Diego Mancini. How has he not hit a 90? How has he not hit a 90? As yes, we won the league again. I thought we would do that. We're better than Juventus. We're better than Milan. And we're better than Inter Milan, who we've got to check on. But first, put that trophy straight into our cabinet as wow! They didn't even win their league. Only 2 defeats, but Parma come top, and yes, we'll face them next year if we haven't won the Champions League. As I wonder if they signed a keeper. Oh, and the Super Cup, it goes to Milan. I hate it when they win a trophy. And I do like the club in real life, don't get me wrong, as they won the Coppa Italia, so they've actually done the double. 2 trophies in a second place is not bad at all, so the only way we trump them is win the Champions League, as we topped our group. To go and get Rene, who we beat 3-2, but I'm looking at the result below us. Norjland beat Madrid, as then we made the quarterfinals where we beat Borussia Dortmund, and Calcio, Atlanta, beaten by Norjland. Did we go and draw them? No. Arsenal hammered them, but we beat Paris to make it a final against Arsenal. I would have loved to play Norjland, and we have made that final. Come on, let's celebrate the final. After a lot of hard seasons, this squad have made it from the bottom tier to Red Bull's first finale. If we play our normal game, we should be completely fine, as look at this black kit. This is very nice. Like I say, link below if you do want to use these mods for yourself, as Bruno, travelling forward, drills it into Mancini, who should be higher rated. And I'm nervous against Arsenal here. Carboni cutting in. Our Argentine goes for it. Definition of a huge chance. Barella, the captain, I have decided to play him instead of a Gaume on the bench because he's been here longer. And Mika Biereth is actually their striker from their academy, as Carboni tried to pass it through. Everybody running into each other on both sides, as Erdegaard, he did have a pass forward there, and he's given it into Saka instead. I wish we had Pavlovic, the Serbian we tried to sign, to actually mark Saka in this game, as this is a chance. Makini to run away with it. Keep going. You've got the pace. Todibo is rounded. Is there anybody in the middle? Leao to strike. As it wasn't a very good catch, but that was a big chance, really. Alson Boletho, who has been here from the start, now on to Erdegaard. Arsenal, I hate to say it, but the better team, trying to work out an opportunity, but we have stole the ball back, and Kameri Of course, Leao and him have to work well on the left as Leao running through the middle. Look at the pace from Rafael Leao. He's got a man at the back stick. What a save and what a block. How have they kept that out? I think it was Mancini with the chance as a ball in at the front post. Bruno with a bad header. Most of the chances in the first half, but Arsenal most possession. But they've been so boring with it. At least we're getting shots off. As it's time to be better now, stand up and be countered as we try and rub the ball off them. I guess we are kick and rush, so we are good when we kick it forward and try and counter-attack them. It's good play, a good save. De Gregorio, what a block. As they should have stopped it there, but now it's a chance to counter on it. Come on, Ferreira, we haven't seen much of you. Maybe that's why his rating's stuck, if he's doing stupid things like that. Let's get a tackle in, a good one. Mancini, now we break. We need the pass down this side. Akin Samiro, he's been in the team all the time as Ferreira, poor in the game. And now Arsenal counter. If we could stop Knott and Cuffy, we do well, you know. Carboni to the side of him and Mancini. Now we attack again. This is a better chance for Ferreira. Through the middle again. He could probably shoot, but I don't trust his shooting. How are we not scoring? That's Leao who we give the ball to. Still from the corner. Leao across the field. Pellegrino, who's our centre-back. He's kept the ball, the Argentine. Crossing. Handball! Yes, it's been given. A penalty kick for RB Milan. Can we win the game from this? Please. Who takes it? It is going to be Mancini, the youth player. Hold your breath and fire top bins as it's not top corner, but it's into the back of the net and 1-0 RB Milan in this UCL final. He celebrates at the camera as there's still time to be seen out and Arsenal will attack. Willian Jr., what a player at the finals, of course, the Euros, as that's a good ball in behind to him. We still need to watch our man, and we're forcing Saka out wide a bit. But he's got a cross into the box, and it's saved by the goalkeeper. An immediate block. But what's happening here? Don't tell me he's given a penalty. Oh, my days. Right, we've got to try and save this. Please not now. After all our hard work, it is going to be Saka, and he squeezed it in. There is no saving that. As that should be it for the game. I don't think we've got a chance to respond, but Carboni, you never know. Here he goes. Carboni, our Argentine, cutting inside and shooting at Lunin. That was a chance. And oh, my days. Lunin got the clearance in. What a chance we've had as now Pellegrino to come forward out of the defence. We need to push on. Of course, we're into extra time now and we should have a team fit enough. Maybe we need to get Barella off as that's a cross towards Leao. Very powerful header. Looking for the top corner as can we stop penalties? I know it's entertaining, but still it's nerve-wracking for myself as Saliba's got around Leao. And we will go to spot kick. 2 penalties scored in game, and now 5 each, as the first one by Edwards, straight into the side netting. As it's Akin San Marino for us, he's been solid, and the keeper dived the right way. Lunin's been very good today, as now Fabio Vieira. Oh, that is audacious. Chipping it down the middle, as now Schmidt. He was a sub, and he scores his penalty firmly to give John Jules the next one, as I'm going to go to the left. And they're just going down the middle. How am I not reading these as Kamari is up next? Oh my days, that's very lucky. My heart literally stopped. Willian Jr., bait him out. Bait him out. You've got to save that. You have got to save that as Ferreira. Go the same way as everybody is going. Very solid from the American. Some very good penalties from us. They're very close as Alexander-Arnold scored in the Euros. But a very big save right there, leading to the final one for Mancini, who scored in-game. Again, hold your breath and go into that top corner where he went in-game. He just goes again as he's cupping his ears to the faithful at the stadium. It is a win for Milan and a win for Red Bull. As get that trophy lifted right now and get it wrapped in cotton wool. We need to take it back with us, as I believe that's Akin San Marino. Oh, not San Marino, but San Miro. I got confused there as the open top bus we've got them 2 trophies. As if you want to see another RB club in a different country, comment down below or click here to check out other vids.